Thank you, Leon.
Mhm.
I just turned back on the recording, so we'll only get part of this, but that's all right.
That's okay.
What I do want to ask you though a little bit about is if I wanted to be more involved as an educator or a leader with the Computer Science Teachers Association and that
Yeah.
chapter, could you
Mhm.
tell us a little bit how I get involved or a link or where would I sign up for something like that?
CSTA-Z, or you can go to CSTA.org. There is, of course, some drop downs that will lead you to your state, as well as a map. So it's free. You know, get the resources, get on the mailing list, and get everything that you need free so that you can see what's coming down the pipeline, what trainings are available, and most of what we promote is free. It's not like we're promoting something that, you know, you have to get a purchase order for. So, you know, that's a big thing. One of the things with this map, we are definitely, you know, of course, Maricopa is like really much more active, but we're working really hard with the southern region and more so the northern region to address tribal lands. We were putting together initiatives to do that physically right before COVID. Hopefully at the beginning of the year, we can restart those as well.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for sharing.
You're
So I'm going to
welcome.
go ahead and move on to our next panelist, which is Beth. We're really lucky to have Beth on our panel today because she is that regional partner for us across the state for at the Arizona Science Center that really works heavily with code.org. And so she's going to talk to us a little bit about some of those resources for that K-5. So there you go.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it. So yes, Arizona Science Center is the regional partner for code.org for the state of Arizona. And so with being the regional partner, one of the main things that we do is we provide professional development for teachers K through 12. So when really looking at the professional development, code.org developed the curriculum as well as the professional development really for individuals with no experience in computer science whatsoever. And, you know, they really have a focus on ensuring or increasing access to computer science across the US. And just like they were talking about in the main session, computer science for all, and code.org firmly believes that. So in looking at the curriculum and the professional development that we provide, the curriculum itself is free. Anybody can access the code.org curriculum by getting on the website, period. But if the individual teachers would like some professional development to help them figure out how to work through the curriculum, how to handle the website, kind of what code.org's philosophy is, they do provide an assortment of professional development. So this chart that you see here shows all the professional development that we offer from kindergarten up through high school. So in our K-5, we offer both the CS fundamentals, which is truly that introductory to computer science for K-5 teachers. And then those who have some experience teaching computer science fundamentals, we offer a deep dive course that goes in a little deeper. It really starts looking at and talking about standards alignment with lessons, et cetera. And for our 6th through 10th grade teachers, we offer the CS Discoveries professional development. Unlike the K-5 professional development, which are one-day professional developments, our 6th through 12th grade programs, which includes our CS Discoveries, our AP CS Principles, and our AP CSA, which is going to be new this upcoming summer, those are all the 6th through 12th grade professional development programs are year-long programs. You know, we also provide additional resources as well, but yeah.
I know you mentioned something in our previous conversation about having the one-day programs that people can sign up for. Where do they go to sign up for that?
Yes, wonderful. So you can go to the Arizona Science Center's website, azscience.org, and you can register there. Or you can also register by looking at getting on the code.org website and looking at professional development in your area. And it will take you right to our page and it will list all of the professional development we offer. For our K-5 professional developments, here at the Science Center, we offer one-day workshops monthly. So we have one each month, and we kind of alternate between in-person and virtual, depending on what works best for individuals. And, you can just sign up for those as well. For any school or district that would like for us to come to you, we will come to your school, come to your district, and work with you and do the training there. And so when we talk about the cost, if you come to the Arizona Science Center to do the professional development, we charge a nominal cost of $20, which covers the cost of a light breakfast and a catered lunch, as well as it provides you with with tickets to general admission tickets to the Arizona Science Center. If we come to your school or district, it is no cost to the school or district as long as there's at least 10 individuals in the training.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing what you have, because you have a lot of different things. Folks can come in for a longer haul. They can come in for a shorter one. You actually have folks that actually come to you, and you actually go out to districts, which is something we don't see from all areas that are providing that professional learning experience. So
I want to just highlight one quick thing that I forgot to mention. As Sarah said, we can come to your school or district to provide the professional development, but we also have an outreach team that can come to your school to actually do hands-on workshops with your students. So if you are interested in that, our Science on Wheels program can come out and offer some different coding and robotics programs with your students using Ozobots, Spheros, Makey-Makeys, and other types of programables.
Perfect. Thank you, Beth. All right, so I'm going to move along to Shawn from Gilbert Public Schools. Just a little forward on this is that we've had her actually come out, and standards were first adopted in October of 2018 and did quite a bit of work for us. And we are just really fortunate to have a district that we can call as a partner to bring in to help us share their resources and also support educators with whether it's been webinars that she's done or some of those things, and those are even recorded online. But I'm going to let Shawn talk a little bit about what she does and what the Gilbert Public Schools are and that they do for computer science, as well as some of those resources. So there you go, Shawn.
Thanks, Sarah. My name is Shawn Abele. I'm the Instructional Technology Coordinator at Gilbert Public Schools. And I'm one of the magical unicorns that Leon was talking about. I'm actually a computer science major and have taught technology K-12 since 2002. And one of the things that we realize is there's not a lack of resources. That's not the problem. There are resources everywhere. The problem is teachers don't know how to access the resources. They don't know that they're available. And when they actually do find them, they are not comfortable teaching the technology. So we're fortunate in our district that we have 11 technology coaches that support 40 of our schools. And the coaches go out and take these resources and then model the lessons to the classes and co-teach with those teachers and help them to actually become comfortable with teaching the computer science in their classrooms. We're super fortunate in our district that we have a little programmables library. So we have the little Ozobots and Edisons. These are just sitting on my desk because I've been working with them. How about this guy, like the little Caterpillar for our pre-K kids? So we're really lucky that we have that. That's what I love that Beth brought up, that they would bring those out to the districts, because if you don't have those things available, what a great resource that Beth and her team would come and bring those right to you. So part of what we did was provide some additional resources to our teachers, especially when the standards came out, to show them exactly how the things that they're doing in their classes already align with the computer science standards. So maybe it's just a little change in how they say things in class or how they address things, but a lot of the computer science standards, especially at the K-5 level, are already being taught. So we made some documents for those kind of things, and also some pre-made lesson plans that walk you through doing or hitting all of the standards for kindergarten, or all the standards. So we've done those through K-3. My goal is to get those done hopefully by the end of the year. But those resources are available on our website. There's all our little, that's all the different programmable robots that we have, and we have class sets for each one of them. So our 11 ties will take those right out to the classrooms. The kids get to program them. We bring them back with the hopes that the school sees the value in them and purchase them on their own. So what we're doing is trying to reach it. We're trying to take what like CSTA and code.org are doing on a national level and bring it right down to our schools at their convenience. You're muted, friend.
Thank you, Shawn. I appreciate you sharing those resources. And we also keep those resources on the computer science page that we have at the state department. And so all of those things are on our computer science website page. And what's great about that is some teachers like, oh, I don't even realize I'm doing that. But actually, you're already doing that in the classroom. You don't really even realize it. Like Shawn said, you just are maybe changing some of those language or making them think with it a little bit differently about the words that they're using. So I just want to go over when those standards were adopted. There are 5 different essential standards, and there are sub-standards or subcomponents underneath those, each of those areas. So if we go in here, we take a peek at that. There's 5 different, these are adopted in October of 2018. And so there are these essential concepts, and then there's the sub-concepts underneath of them, and there's 5 of them. I wanted to share just general that with everyone. And what's unique about Arizona is we actually have a endorsement. We have an endorsement that is a K-8 endorsement, and we have an endorsement, it's a 6-12 endorsement. So what is that? Well, first, an educator must be certified, and an endorsement is something that they can add on to their certificate to show the growth that they've taken over time to go take, maybe they go do a bunch of PD. So all those PD hours they can add up after a time. Well, what we want to do is add those hours up and put those onto an endorsement that then shows wherever you are, whether you're at a school district and you're moving, or your school, wants to really congratulate, or even some school districts, and that's local control, they have a stipend or something along with those areas. So it's just nice to have that endorsement to help support computer science educators. And then back to, and then also on the website, we also have a lot of different videos. Shawn has a couple of those in there, and we have a couple other ones that just explain, well, what are those, each of those concepts? And we're talking about those essential concepts of those 5. So that's what I wanted to be able to share. Going back just to our vision is that really we want to be able to develop that foundational knowledge for our students. So when as they go over through time, like Leon talked about, we don't want to do the same thing every time. And that's the idea of having standards, is that there are standards that are more K2 focused versus 3, 5, 6, 8 in high school. So with that, that's kind of one of the main reasons why we have standards. So we're not teaching the same thing at all times. I want to just take a minute to see if there's any questions that any of you guys have for one of the panelists, whether it's the science, whether it's Beth as the regional partner at the Science Center for Code.org, if it's Leon to learn a little bit more about the CSTA-Arizona chapter, or maybe Shawn for any of the resources that she has. And if there is, because we have a group of about 25 of us, go ahead and just unmute and ask your question. I know there's questions out there.
Shawn, I saw that you have many programmables. Do you have identified grade bands for specific physical computing resources?
That's a great question. And we have actually done that at our level. I don't think that I have anything like written out, but in all honesty, like this little guy, this OzoBot, we've used it in kindergarten through high school. So we've used that at all grade levels. I personally have taught it in kindergarten through high school. The Edison robot, I've used in first through high school, personally used it. This one is, if you're looking to purchase them for your district, like this one is one of my favorites, the Edison, and followed very closely by the OzoBot. This, obviously for our pre-K, we wouldn't take this into onto our secondary schools, but the other thing that's been really cool with some of these, like this, or even like the Makeys and just some other ones, we've used this with some of our special needs students. So this one we used with an older student that was visually and hearing impaired because he makes noise and it's large. So you couldn't use this with a visually impaired student because he's so little, but this guy we could. So even though it's, we try to use them for everything. I want to use this in every grade level at any time I can. I want to bring a robot in, but for the most part, and if you're ever wondering, like, please reach out, send me an email, whatever, and I'll give you all the information that I possibly can about any of these things and how we've actually used them. But both of these ones, the Ozobots and the Edisons, we've used at K-12.
Yeah, we're wanting to move toward having a designated resource that's introduced at each grade level so that there's a new resource that they can see and get excited about at each grade level. So it's kind of wondering, if you had kind of fleshed out which grade level might be a good entry point for these skills for them to build on, and then looking at like the standards and what skills that they're developing.
Yeah, so that's why this one is one of my favorites, because you can use this for multiple years, even though it is the same device. It starts out with the Ed Blocks app, which is just very basic drag and drop block code. And then, so that would be like your K2. And then in the 3.5 level, then it goes into Ed Scratch app, which looks more like that Scratch or code.org code, where it has larger blocks and more control. And then you can program them with typed physical code in Python, the EdPy app. So using the same thing over and over, the same device that they're familiar with, they can grow with the same device.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
One of the things I want to add before we have to head back here into the chat is, here we go. This is just the slide deck we had for today. So if you wanted to take that, where you have the context of everybody and some of the places or spaces or names that people were able to share out. So that has just kind of all of it condensed in one for the slide deck, if you want to grab that to take that along with you. I know that John requested that we're back at 1:05 back into the space. So if we don't have any other questions, and if somebody wants to throw in the chat real quick before we head on back, we will go ahead and head on back. If anybody also has any questions, feel free to reach out to myself or to Beth, Leon, to Shawn. Like, I know that working with this team, everybody is always more than willing to share, because like I heard, there's a lot of resources out there, but what do I use? Almost like what Michelle was asking, well, like, what grade does that go in? How does that fit the standards? Like, where are all those things? Is there a space for that? So thank you, our panelists.
Sarah, I do see one question. I don't know if you want to.
Is there a source or site where the standards are translated from ISTE to ADE computer science standards? We do not have an ISTE. We took our standards from the Computer Science Teachers Association using the CS framework. That's where those standards came off of. I know some states, like, we don't have our new standards. We're in the process right now of, it's actually open for public review for the educational technology standards. So we don't have those, and those were written by the committee really using and addressing those ISTE standards. Once those have been adopted, there might be a time that there would be a resource created to show where are those differences and similarities for computer science versus educational technology. So we don't have one right now where there's translated from ISTE, but we did translate ours from the computer science framework. All right. Thank you, Rebecca, for pointing that out. All right, well, thank you all for being part of the Arizona chapter as far as this national summit. That has been the first time we've done this. I'm gonna let everybody what we're gonna do is let's log off, and you're gonna use the exact same link that you used to get on into the original experience. So thank you, and we will see you on the other side.